Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today we're going to work on a little project that I call Cash Me Here. Everybody has gotten those little checks in the mail, $1 or $2 or $3 or something. Even a $6 check may not be worth cashing. You have to figure out the gas mileage you get and how far it is to the bank and how far it is back. You may spend enough gasoline to eat up that whole check. Well, most of the financial institutions these days have a little application that's on your iPhone or Android or whatever you got that you can photograph the check and send them the picture and they'll cash it for you. And all you got to do then is just throw it away. That depends, of course, on how well you can hold the phone. I've learned that I have so much trouble holding it exactly straight, and the check will be in focus, out of focus, can't read the top, can't read the bottom, etc., etc. So I decided to make a little fixture that will hold my phone dead on for me, so that when I want to take a picture of a check, all I got to do is just slide it over there, let it focus, and push the button, which that'll be easy enough. Now, before I get started doing this, I've got something from a viewer, and we're going to open the box and show you that, and then we'll get on with the project. And anyway, I got a couple of days ago, I got a box. I say a couple of days. Actually, it was I think it was yesterday, really. And I know that my mailman's still hurting from carrying it in, because I was puffing time I got it out here to the garage. And this one came from Robert Ream, and it's heavy. It's full of metal. I'm going to give you a little look at it here. I haven't taken anything out of the box yet, and I think what I'll do is I'll set it up on the bench. Alright, the word heavy was invented to describe this box of goodies here. We got some sports, and here's some stuff here that's fallen out on me already. He said he was sending me some tool steel that he had hand ground to make various shapes, and sure enough, there's a bunch of it in here. He's got it set for various radiuses. And let's see if I can get all over that, dropping it in the floor. Here's another batch of it here, and if you look at the edges real close, you can see they are set for radiuses, or ground for it, or whatever. And that ought to be a handy thing to have. Nice round one. Another one for radiuses. And here's just a big old straight piece of tool steel, or tool bit rather. Alright, let me set these over here where they don't fall on the floor, and get the local news out of the way there. More newspaper. And then we get into he said there was a bunch of cutoffs, and he's right, there's a lot of stuff in here. These, I don't know, that was sharp. Exactly what this is. There's a bunch of these little pieces like this, which no doubt I'll find something really good to do with. This is stainless steel. I got quite a bit of that in here. There's lots of aluminum, and I really like to make stuff out of aluminum because it's so easy to cut, you know. And we're just starting on the top layer here. Let me see if I can set things here where I can lay these pieces down in between them and they won't go rolling in the floor. Guess these guys would help. Alright, there's a disc of titanium. Oh boy, that's that's more Brian Stanger's speed there, that titanium stuff. And stainless steel. Lots of stainless. Let me get down to the second layer here, because apparently it's packed in several layers. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this newspaper, but I guess I'll find a place Alright. More aluminum. And this is just right. The project I was going to do today could use something like this. This would be nice and shiny. I know exactly where to put that. No, Pierre, not there. Besides, you got to quit eating all those ghost peppers. It's going to make you cross-eyed. Oh, it just gets better as you get deeper. We're getting into copper. And I'm running out of place to sit stuff here. We're running into brass, and this is good for the project that I had started to do today. A nice little circle. If I had one like that out of aluminum in here, I could make a Tom Lipton gauge. Let's see here. There's a nice big round piece. Titanium. Oh boy. Alright. Lots of nice shiny metal here. I haven't got my glasses on, my cheaters here, so I can't read what it is. I'll find that out later. And then there's another layer here. Whoa. Yep. So, I think the bottom of the thing is chock full of more stuff like this, stuff like this, and this, more brass. Yep, that looks to be like it's still in there. And let me just go handheld and give you a shot. There's what I stuck out on the stool. There's the pile of stuff that's still in there, along with more copper and brass and such. And here's the stuff I pulled out and stacked over here. So I can tell you that I certainly appreciate it. That could be near a lifetime supply of that metal right there, you know. What it means, I'm going to have to get busy and make something out of it now. Alright, so let's start on today's project. Alright folks, what we're doing here is we're turning down titanium on a redneck lathe. It's a ½ inch, and I'm going to try to turn it down to 3/8, and then we'll put a thread on the end of it. You can see them from the mark. It's still not matching up with how far I run my tool in, but that's 385. So I'm 10 thousandths away from my goal, and that thing's hot as a pistol. I'm gonna let it cool off a couple minutes. Maybe even try to help it. You guys are going to go to sleep. Alright, I finally had it down to 3/8 there. And I'm going to single point the thing for 3/8/16. And hopefully it'll still be soft enough that I can clean it up with a die. It's not going to be much fun. I'm going to have to slow it down some. Not having titanium experience is probably going to hurt me, but there you go. Let me get the speed set and everything. I'm going to have to be kind of fast with this or I'll miss the right spot. Looks pretty close to the thread gauge. Let's see what it looks to the die. It says start this side. Yes, I think that's going to work. Just needs a little oil. Yeah. Alright. So now I need to find a tap that size so I can make the other half of the hole. Be right with you. Had this nice piece of oak laying around for a long time. Might be ash. No, it's oak. Anyway, I've had it laying around for a long time. And it's time to make something out of it. Look at that. Going to have to deburr it. Alright, so I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to shine it up nice. And I've got a router stuck away somewhere, but I'm not going to try to use it. Don't even know what kind of bits I might have. I hadn't pulled it out in 15 or 20 years. So I'm going to chamfer the edge of this with the milling machine. I've got a bit over there that I know will do the job. So what we're looking for here is to thread this little guy so this screws down in there. Our platform is going to be out here, the little lock nut, lay our check down here, take the picture and press send. So let me get that hole cleaned up. Okay, we're going to turn on the machine and see if it'll just pull itself down into the wood. And I'm going to turn it back off pretty quick too. No reverse. That looked to me like it did a good job. Coming back out can't be all that hard to do. Well, it screws into there just quite well. So at this point I need to go over to the mill and find my little corner rounding bit, and we'll mill this thing perfect. So who needs a router, huh? Not Matthias Wandel for sure, but by golly, it's got a little curve all the way around. Alright, next thing I got to do is sand and finish this piece. Alright, I put some polyurethane on it, and we'll let her dry overnight and see what it looks like tomorrow, and then we'll do the next part, which is, I don't know, probably going to take just about as long. Daisy? Daisy, are you feeling all stressed out? Huh? Are you feeling all stressed out there, girl? What are you doing? You just... What? What are you up to? You look so stressed. Oh. Oh, you want me to quit bothering you when you're sleeping, huh? Alright. Well, I rummaged through my scrap pieces of this and that and the other, and so it's come down to me choosing between these two pieces, and I think I'll just choose that one right there, and I'm going to try to make it keep a nice curved shape. I'll have to clean it up on the sander, but I need me a 1/2 inch hole in here, and what this piece is going to do is it's going to fit on the back end of this guy here to hold it together. And once it's on there, we'll have a 1/2 inch hole through there, and we'll put a knob back here to tighten down, and he'll be right on top of this fella here. Just sliding up and down. So we're getting close to finished. The thing for me to do with this guy, I guess, is to clean it up and put a hole in it. I think for most of it I may clean up on the disc sander, belt sander, you know, and then we'll get on with drilling a hole in it. Alright, I get this thing cranked up about top speed, and I'm going to just square the sides of this flat end of it so that everything will fit right. Alright, so then I'll check and make sure it's really smooth, and then we'll roll it over and do the other side, and then I'll do the edge. Alright, I squared off two sides to be parallel, and I'm going to make this end flat, and then we'll go on to the job of drilling some holes and threading them. Alright, so I've drilled a hole for the upright shaft to go through, and now I'm going to drill a hole and we'll tap it out for a 1/4 20, and I've got knobs already made with that size threads, so that's what we'll use. Alright, now for the tap. Alright, now we'll tap the little bugger. Put some aluminum tap juice on it. And should make it more receptive for being cut. So, came to the end of the travel. Alright, so now I only need to put a hole here and a hole here for screwing it onto the box, and thread those and cut a hole in the box. Alright, so I set a drill stop so I don't go all the way through, and I'm going to drill a couple of holes. And so it'll go for the other one, and then I'll come back and I'll tap it. I'm going to put a number 832 screw in there. I took the leftover parts of the screws and made a couple of sharp pointed pieces to use to transfer the hole to the back of this guy here. And what I'll do is I'll lay them flat and get it even, and then I'll just give her a whack with a hammer, and that should leave a spot where the holes will be. Alright, now then, I've got the holes drilled there, got the holes drilled in the box, and I'm going to take this in the vise and liptonize it. And as you know, liptonizing means take a file and file on it until it's finished. We're going to use this device again, cut that little window with the phone to see through. After all, I used it on the base and it did good, so should do good here also. There we go. Nice hold. All I gotta do is deburr it, assemble things, then go get a check. There are, of course, different sizes of checks, but there you are. The check is underneath. All you got to do is adjust the height. Once you've got it set for your average check, you probably won't have to move ever again. There's the check underneath, of course. I think that this will do the job. Now then, I'm going to tell you, there's another there's another way to do these things. You could take the check and fill out a deposit slip and put the check, endorse the check in with a deposit slip in an envelope, and put a 50-cent stamp on it and mail it to your financial institution. Now the only thing I can see wrong with that is sometimes around here some poor misguided criminals will come by and steal checks out of the mailbox and go off to the hardware store and buy chemicals to wash off the stuff and make themselves some nice checks for, say, a $3 check. Maybe they could hope to turn it into $300. And if you do that, well, there you go. You've probably made this old boy, who really had nothing but the best intentions, you probably made him go and break his parole, and you know he'll be going back to prison and all that stuff. You know, why tempt fate? Let's just photograph the things and send them on to the bank. Alright, I think it's time to hear from Bubba or Ole or somebody. Well, it seems like Bubba's cousin, Bubba Joe, lived down on the river, you know, and across on the other side of the river there was another redneck named Clarence. And they just hated each other, you know. If they was outside and they saw each other, they'd throw rocks at each other and stuff. And Bubba Joe told his wife, he says, you know, he says, one of these days I'm going to whoop that boy, you know. And so sure enough, here come the Corps of Engineers, and they built a bridge across the river. Oh, Bubba Joe was just happy as he could be. And he told his wife, he says, they opened that bridge today. He says, I'm going to go over and whoop Clarence. And he took off, and it wasn't very long at all. He come back. Didn't look like he'd been in a fight or nothing. His wife asked him, well, Bubba Joe, what are you doing back so soon? He says, you know, he says, I ain't never actually seen Clarence up close. He says, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. He says, I got that there bridge, and there's a sign there that says Clarence, 8 foot 3 inches. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.